Welcome to Let's Talk on Houston City Beat. I'm Lisbeth Newton, and joining me today is Pastor Sincere. Pastor Sincere, welcome, and I'm so excited to dive into our topics today.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure and honor to be here with y'all today. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Likewise. So this is a first of many chats with you. Can you give us a little bit about your background so people can understand how you got to where you are today? I know that you're a pastor of a church and you're also a life coach. How did you come into those two roles?
Well, I was raised right here in Houston, Texas. I was born in Beaumont, Texas, right down the street, and I came here when I was 2 years old. And around 7 years old, my mother was married to an individual that was a drug trafficker. And when I was 7.5 years old, he got killed in a car accident because he was under the influence of drugs. And so I remember they repossessed everything and all of that kind of stuff. And we really went through some hard times. And there was a church that was across the street that found out about what was going on. We were not members there. And they came over and helped us with our rent. They helped us with our groceries. They picked me up and they took me to church. And so, at a very difficult time, that church had a huge impact on my mother and I. And as I got older, I told myself I would never forget what that church did for me. And so, this is the why, part of the why we do things in the community and help people and try to help the most vulnerable, because I was one of those people. So that's kind of a brief overview concerning the why. Concerning me getting into the ministry is not just seeking another job, it's a calling. And so at a young age, I think in 1988, we started doing outreach work. My wife and I, we've been doing this work for almost 40 years. And we've been married for almost 35 years. And so that's kind of a quick overview of the why and kind of how I got into it.
Okay, beautiful. And how does your church help the community?
Well, over the years, we've mentored over 500 kids, partnering with Fort Bend ISD, teaching them business, entrepreneurship, cultural competency, diversity, STEM and robotics, as well as social emotional learning. We also have programs for our seasoned citizens. Tomorrow I'll be teaching Bible study with our seasoned citizens. I do it every Tuesday. We also have done food boxes for seasoned citizens. We've helped individuals in terms of workforce development, partnering with workforce solutions. We've participated heavily with the county in COVID, making sure that people got their vaccines or whatever they needed of their own volition, right? No force, but their own volition. We focus heavily on mental health. We're big mental health advocates within Fort Bend County. I sit on the Fort Bend County Health and Human Services Task Force and the Health Human Services Mental Health Task Force. And so I could continue on and on, but we believe in being very active in the community and trying to make sure that we can help the most vulnerable and those that are in need.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the people that did get a COVID shot because I
Mm-hmm.
felt that at the time it was for me. For me, it was the right thing to do because I have older parents that I have to think of, and that's why I did it. In recent news, there has been a lot of I don't know if they're valid stories or not. There's been a lot of talk about how people that have gotten the COVID shot are getting all of these side effects, and a lot of them are dying. What
Mm-hmm.
is your take on that? What is your opinion as far as that goes? And keep in mind, I'm one of those, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing these stories, and beyond the fact that no one knows when we're going to go, right? Only God
Mm-hmm.
knows. And you're just as likely to get hit by a car on your way out the door as you are to drop of a heart attack, which could or could not come from COVID, but could come from the foods that you're eating or those energy drinks that you're drinking or a host of other things, right? So what is your take on all of this news that we're hearing about from the effects of the COVID shot?
Yeah. Well, my opinion is this. My understanding is that the situation that happened with COVID was unprecedented. For many of us, especially in America, it was something new that we had never experienced before in terms of the virus and the spread of the virus and what was told to us about the virus and all of the above. Um, I know that on the city level, as well as the county level, even the institution that I work for with the Salvation Army, which partnered with the city to um, help to deal with the social distancing in shelters and to open up an overflow shelter for those individuals where we were actually exposed to homeless people that actually had COVID and we wore the mask. And so when we look at that particular time and that particular moment, I think that there were a lot of unknowns
Yeah.
concerning the vaccine, the effectiveness of the vaccine, and all of the above. And many of us made choices to try to mitigate the risk. It wasn't going to be a perfect solution, but we were trying to mitigate the risk based on what we were told. So if there's new research coming out 4 years later, I think that that's a different dynamic than at the time where people were struggling to take it or not.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of how I look at it. I had the COVID shot. I have grandbabies, kids. We all social distance. I didn't get a chance to spend time with my grandbaby. Many people were scared.
Yeah.
They were afraid. They didn't know what choices to make. And I'm not dogmatic about any of it. I
Yeah.
believe that God leads us to be people of conviction, the conviction of our hearts. And I don't want to hate anyone for making a different choice. So I love everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, my thing is that people had to make choices. They were not easy choices. There were a lot of unknowns. And I think I respect that we live in a country like America where people can make choices on a certain level, right? Companies had to make a choice. People had to make a choice. Government agencies had to make a choice. Um,
Yeah.
we'll just have to
Absolutely.
see how it plays out.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So you mentioned the word hate.
Hmm.
Over the last few weeks, I've seen a lot of hate coming out, whether it's on television, whether it's on social media. There's a lot of it coming out on social media. I actually shared a post through Facebook, through my Facebook page the other day about hate, and we all have a choice. There's a lot of things going on around us, a lot of chaos. We might agree or we might not agree with what's happening, but we still have a choice to either love or to hate. You want to talk about that from a biblical perspective and just from a human perspective?
Yeah, that's a subject that is very close to my heart. I appreciate your post and what you said. I was praying that nothing particular happened to you in that experience, but I think you said it was a post in general
Yes, it
about
was a
just the
post.
situation. So to answer your question is this: we have to all live here together. We live in a pluralistic society um, of many people of many different faiths, beliefs, ethnic groups, religion, all of the above. And we have to live here together as Americans. I know that the Bible says that how can you say that you love God who you have not seen and hate your brother who you see? The Bible says, love God with all thy heart, thy soul, thy mind, and to love thy neighbor as thyself. The Bible even says that if your enemy is hungry, give them something to eat. If your enemy is thirsty, give them something to drink. I don't have to agree with you, but I also don't have to hate you. And
Yeah.
that is what I believe that the Bible or my Christian faith promotes, in terms of how we as a nation, as a people, and as a world, that we need to be able to have love, compassion, and empathy. And the empathy is putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes to look at a different perspective that may not be like, and we may not agree, but that don't mean that we have to promote hate. So I really appreciate that post. We need to tone down the rhetoric. We need to try to diffuse that. And if we can't sit down at the table and have a honest, respectful conversation about how to move forward as Americans, then what's going to happen is we're going to destroy each other.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunate, and hopefully we will be able to. There's a movement called Stop the Hate. I don't know if you've seen some of the campaigns that are going around, and hopefully that's a public message that will get out, and more people will start listening, and will be conscientious of, I'm hating right now. I need to stop hating. I need to
Mhm.
come at life. I need to open that front door with love. Regardless of what you believe, whether you're Christian or whether you're Muslim or whether you're Jewish, whatever your faith is, or if you have no faith,
Mhm.
we should all live in love, because I really do feel, and I'm sure you agree with me, that the world would be uh, it would be such a better place if people looked at each other with care and with love, and not all this ugliness that's going on around us right now.
Yeah, I have, and I'm so blessed to have worked at the Salvation Army. I was exposed to many different people of many different dialects, classes, etc. I asked God to help me to love everybody, even when I disagree with them. I have white friends, black friends, Asian friends, Latino, Hispanic friends. I have friends from all over the world, and I appreciate the differences. I appreciate the culture. I've learned to, in fact, real quickly, when my kids were growing up, I would take them to the international festival. And I remember taking them to the Greek. We got some tickets from a friend, and we went to the Greek festival. And I wanted to expose them so that they could have a world view right here in Houston, Texas, instead of living in a box. And I think the key to breaking down those barriers is for us to be able to spend time together, to realize that we have more in common than we. At the end of the day, what I've found in this work that my wife and I that we've done is that at the end of the day, most people just want to be loved and respected, not disrespected. So I agree with you 1,000%. And here again, I appreciate your post.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. So sometimes I will share something that I think I feel that will resonate with people, and I get a the reaction that you had to the post is a lot of the types of reactions that I get, because people think that it's something that's affecting me personally at that moment, but it usually isn't, because I like to not share about my personal drama going on in my life if and when I have it, because I think that makes the world a better place.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what are your plans in the coming months in terms of helping the community, whether it's through healing? I know that you do coaching work.
Hmm.
Would you
Hmm.
like to tell us about that life coaching work that you do?
Yeah. As a pastor, we do a lot of pastoral care. Um, that's something that we do as pastors. And I realized that it's important for me to get some training to learn how to do that pastoral care. Um, I went to Liberty University, And I heard about this organization called um, the International Institution of Christian Care, and the Association of Christian Counselors. And so I started really studying and taking classes on, um, mental health and self care and all of those different things. And so um, I have had the opportunity to become a master mental health life coach, also an advanced life coach um, by the Association of Christian Care, and we've integrated that into the work that we do in the community as well as with our members, where we provide these one-on-one sessions with individuals to try to help them get what they need. um, if they're dealing with a major mental health DSM-5 diagnosis, then we work with therapists and we will refer them to therapists so that they can get the help that they need. So it enhanced my pastoral care, and it really enhanced me to be able to uh, help those that call in, help with wraparound services, as well as the coaching, the one-on-one coaching. It helped me to be able to minister to people in a more effective way. I've always been one of those pastors that have told my congregation, I just don't want to pray for you, even though I believe prayer is important, but I want to do more than just pray for you. I want to be able to help you in a tangible, in a realistic way.
Yeah, and prayer, part of prayer is action, right?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you very much, Pastor Sincere. It has been a pleasure to share a screen with you and talk about these subjects. I hope to have you come back soon to delve into more of the social issues that are happening in Houston, and ways that positive solutions can come through to help as many Houstonians as possible. So thank you again for your time, and let's talk soon.
Thank you. And you have a wonderful day, and keep hope alive and keep on loving.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.